What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we got a really cool one for you today, a historical one for you, if you will. Today, we bring you all the way from 1998, a true timeless collection. General Robert E. Lee. Civil War series. Guys, this was a figure, a G.I. Joe, that I had been tracking through my G.I. Joe collecting club, and I think every collector was really pretty much tracking this guy, because you were gonna get a G.I. Joe in a combination of the old vintage style body with the true likeness of General Robert E. Lee. So you're going to get a true head sculpt of a historical figure on a true vintage style G.I. Joe body from the 1960s. And I thought that combination was phenomenal. It was just phenomenal. And I am a huge Civil War historian. I'm a big Civil War buff. You've seen some of my Civil War G.I. Joe videos that I've done, and we're just continuing that along that same vein here. This is going to be included to the Civil War collection. You can check that playlist out. But this was a figure that a lot of the collectors absolutely positively wanted because of its historical factors and the G.I. Joe historical factors, like I talked about earlier, with the combination of a lifelike head sculpt and a true vintage style G.I. Joe body. I picked my General Lee up from Walmart back in 1998, and let's bring him down so we can get acquainted with Robert E. Lee here. General Robert E. Lee, I should say. And I got him from Walmart back in 1998. He was quite expensive. He was not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. This figure was nearly $40, a little over $40 actually, after tax. So he was not cheap, and rightfully so, because what you were getting was quality. You were getting Hasbro at its absolute finest with the design of this G.I. Joe. A lot of thought went into the designing and production of this G.I. Joe. Hasbro went through a lot of the archives with the Civil War and did a lot of fact finding and a lot of information, and they wanted to make sure that this figure was going to really get as close as it could to the actual subject that was in question here, which is General Robert E. Lee. And I thought, and I still think, they did a marvelous job. Now, you can have your take on the Civil War one way or the other. That doesn't matter. It's still a huge historical factor and point in time of the very fabric of our country. So whether we want to admit that or not, it's a part of what has propelled us throughout the years with our country today. So G.I. Joe and Hasbro, really, you have to commend them, because and I've said this with the other Civil War figures that they put out, and with the other historical figures that they've put out, they will give you a lot of information. They will do that, and they will attack those different historical timelines and events in U.S. history. So, and this was another one. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful figure. A collector buddy of mine was curious. He said he saw some of my other Civil War videos, and he wanted to know if I had General Robert E. Lee. And the answer is yes, I do. We have a lot here, guys, at the M.I.B. Master Museum. And this is just another one of those awesome figures that we have. And before anybody asks, yes, we do have Ulysses S. Grant. Before anybody asks, I just want to throw that out there. And you will be seeing Ulysses S. Grant in a future video as well. But today we're talking about General Robert E. Lee. This guy comes layered up with tons and tons of clothing. You got to understand, as a general, he was very well dressed. You can see this is a jacket. He's got another coat underneath that. And underneath that, he has a shirt, a beautiful white shirt with a black tie. You can see his hat here. The head sculpt is absolutely gorgeous. It's dead on. And you can do the fact finding yourself with the pictures and portraits of Robert E. Lee. And you'll see that Hasbro and the design team got that head sculpt down to a T. Did a beautiful job. Here's the flag of the Confederate States of America. And here you have the stand right behind here for your coffee pot. And because I'm such a huge fan of coffee, that was another selling point for me, to see this big coffee pack. This is an old style coffee pot. And this is they even gave the stand, because he was going to do a lot of figuring out. And underneath the base, there's a plastic base that he's standing on. And there's information. There's a pamphlet, if you will, of information on the Civil War series, General Robert E. Lee. And this coat, this belt, everything is just absolutely gorgeous. He's got his binocular case right here. And that's what that is, his binocular case. Guys, if you're just joining us, what do you think about our timeless collection, General Robert E. Lee? Do you remember this guy? Do you remember this particular figure that came out in 1998? Do you have him in your collection? Are you looking for this guy? He's not, once again, not hard to find. Not hard to find at all. He's available at Cotswold Collectibles, I believe. You can find him at Cotswold Collectibles. You're probably going to pay somewhere between $50 or $60, and that's probably including shipping and handling, if not more. Because I haven't seen him lately on their website, but they change and update their inventory practically maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times a week from the way I search them. So eBay, watch out. I mean, this is a C10 museum example. This box is absolutely gorgeous. No scuffing, no rubs or anything like that, no dirt. This particular figure stays. All of our Civil War figures, G.I. Joes, they stay in our main collection room where we can kind of monitor them and check them out, make sure they're cool, everything's good with their boxes. We're fanatical in that regard. Let's turn this box around, and what we'll do is we'll sit him back up top here. And we'll get you an equipment list too. We'll get you a year and equipment list. This is another cool selling point of this of this box and get you a blown out look at this box. This box looks like it's heavy, but it's really not as heavy. Now, the Ulysses S. Grant box is extremely heavy. I don't know why. It's definitely a different box, and a little bit more of a deluxe, but this box is not heavy at all. Not at all. And you can see this is a stoned carving inside of a mountain, actually, on the side of a mountain. And whoever did this, and this is a true memorial site, actually. I wonder if anybody has been there to visit that. So if you got any information on that, I would like to know more about this carving. Leave your questions and your comments and all of that great stuff in our comment section right underneath this video. We would love to chat about Robert E. Lee, General Robert E. Lee today. This G.I. Joe is just beautiful. And here's our timeless collection, reminiscent of the golden age of G.I. Joe from 1964 to 1978. The old G.I. Joe Collectors Club information there. Here it says 1998 Hasbro. Just a marvelous figure. Like I said, in the box. Once again, guys, I can't say it enough, especially to our new viewership. This is why I don't take anything out of my box or off their cards, because to destroy a box that's this gorgeous, to me, is a sin. An absolute sin to destroy a box this beautiful. And removing this figure from the box, that's exactly what you would be doing, destroying it. And once again, let's bring him back down, because it's just a beautiful figure. And everything is, Hasbro did a phenomenal job at putting everything in its proper place here. The flag, everything is set up so well. They did just a beautiful job at arranging everything. This set was not meant for the younger demographic, but they had to sell it to the younger demographic. So they will put their warning signs down here. But this was not meant for the younger demographic. This was meant for collectors, war historians, Civil War historians. I know a few people that have these sets that still sit in their offices, in their lounge areas at home, because it's really more of a collectible. And that's what the Timeless Collection series, that entire series was about. It was about the vintage style G.I. Joes, all of their equipment, all of their accessories, all of that. And it's just truly for it's a collector's dream. And I really missed the Timeless Collection series, and we all missed G.I. Joe being in stores. But here at the M.I.B. Master Museum, you can relive a lot of that, that fun and that time period with us here. And that's what we try to do. We try to bring a lot of that back to you guys with these videos. And I've had a lot of collectors and a lot of viewers and a lot of subscribers comment and call in and say, hey, thanks for taking me back down that memory lane and taking me back to a time where it was so cool to see these guys, these action figures and these G.I. Joes in stores and stuff. And watching your videos just has kind of made me have pleasant thoughts of those days that are long gone now. So, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we do here at the M.I.B Master Museum. There's his sword, just beautifully, and it's set beautifully right there. The boots, super awesome. And I've been told that they're a super, super soft, pliable rubber. Not a plastic, but more of a rubber. So we monitor that to make sure that they're not deteriorating or anything. And they haven't, and they've been here since 1998. This is what is a 20-year-old figure now. And beautifully done. This figure's 20 years old. So just a job well done by Hasbro. Guys, we'd like to thank you for hanging out with us today and sharing this awesome timeless collection, G.I. Joe, General Robert E. Lee figure with you. We want everybody to have a blessed day and an enjoyable day. And by all means, continue to stop by the channel. You know the routine, guys. God bless. And keep collecting.